Good evening and a warm welcome to B-CAF, Bridging Culture and Art Foundation. B-CAF is a non-profit foundation that is working as a bridge between artists, communities and urban population to create a sustainable ecosystem for arts and culture. We are very happy to invite you all today to celebrate World Heritage Day. Today we are going to discuss about nurturing heritage through art leadership under our one of the main working areas, Community Leadership Program. We are delighted to have Professor Aloke Kumar today as the speaker. We are also thankful to Rupa Publication House and Mr. Raju Burman for giving us the space. It's my absolute delight to introduce Professor Aloke Kumar in few words. Professor Aloke Kumar is an accomplished communications professor, author, editor, and scholar. He is a faculty member at the University of Calcutta in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communications, an associate professor at IIM Calcutta, and a visiting lecturer at Ramakrishna Vidya Mandir, Belur. His interest in heritage, particularly folk art, developed from his father, who was an antiquarian and had a formidable library of books. He took a keen interest in different folk arts when he was creating the first heritage park in India, Swabhumi, when he went round the villages for first-hand knowledge and experience on this subject. We are welcoming you all to enjoy the session. Thank you.
For the World Heritage Day, Bridging Culture Art Foundation, who has invited me to talk on arts leadership, particularly related to folk arts. And it's a very, very interesting subject, number one, because it is related to folk art. Second is because arts leadership itself is a new subject and which is upcoming, not so much recognized in India at the moment, but we need to understand what it is. First, because it is a folk art and of a heritage, let me just touch base. What I mean by folk art is something which is related to a tradition, culture, heritage. It is more related to a community, maybe related to a village, and from there, the kind of work that can come out, maybe, craft, maybe dance, maybe, other forms. But these are usually based on rituals, ceremonies, rituals, which takes place, and from there it takes a form. Okay, and also I know that since it is the overall subject, it is of arts leadership. But let me tell you in one or two words what it is. Arts leadership actually shows the way of what we can do. It is a new subject because we need people who can understand the art and then take it forward. Okay. Having said that, we must focus, on one art so that you will understand. And I would like to tell you about the Pattochitra, which is from the Nayagram, from Mednipur, and it is very interesting. For example, my father, who was an antiquarian, and the first antiquarian in India. Whenever I say this, then people ask me, who is the second? I don't know who is the second, because who would like to be an antiquarian? Who does nothing the whole day? You look after books and other things, and his contemporary was Satyajit Ray, Radha Prasad Gupta, and the others. And in my old house, I used to see that he sometimes used to invite these Pattochitrakars from the Naya village to come over. Or sometimes they came for their own sake. They came, and here they used to show their work. What is Pattochitra? Pattochitra is a scroll painting. Pattochitra. Okay? And they used to have this scroll painting, okay? And they used to sing songs along with it. My father, what he used to do? He used to call my mother, he will call me, there'll be some para people coming, we used to listen to them, give them some money and all that. And even sometimes also buy it when he thought that there was a dire need. He was actually, not knowingly, playing the role of an arts leadership. that this is what I understand and I want to promote Potachitra. And what would he do? He would call up his friend circles and all that and say, you know that Uday Chitrakar has come from Noya in my home, and he has some new work which he has done and all that. Would you like to see? Then I will send him over. Okay. And they used to say, okay, sometimes he used to go and sell over there, sometimes not. Okay. And this is how it is. I still have a lot of Potachitra in my home. But let me tell you that where the leadership, art leadership comes in here. If there is somebody who understands this art and then to take it to the next leap. You know, folk art doesn't mean that it is, just in one form. It can also change and moving. The most important aspect of this, let me tell you, which is still stuck in my mind, is that when my father used to call them, he used to record the songs also. So in my home, I have Potachitra where I have the song also, and we used to then put it inside and then listen to it, and and sometimes we used to pretend that we are the person and then show it to our friends and all that. You understand that there is a I would take up that Potachitra, that scroll painting, and then slowly open it like they used to do from the village, and actually put on that song, and that was a play acting for us. Okay. Now, what do I understand from these? Two things are there. Okay. Number one, that these two elements are very, very important. Both of them. One is an audio and one is a visual, which I realized. But what is happening today? Today, Potachitras are just sold. You go to a fair, you buy it, and you're going to ask me, আর কি করবে? এটা কি সম্ভব যে ওদেরকে নিয়ে গিয়ে গানটা গাওয়া হবে? সম্ভব নয়। You are right, absolutely right. সম্ভব নয়। কিন্তু in this age of technology, can you believe that we cannot make it like that? If my father thought that it was so important, because otherwise it will be like you go to a movie hall and you are watching a silent era movie. You're watching a Charlie Chaplin without the sound. How can Potachitra flourish without the song? Okay. For example, in many villages in Midnapur and other places, the woman used to be sold, against money. It is just the opposite, not the dowry system. Not the dowry system where you are giving money to the groom to marry your daughter. It was just the opposite way around. And the father got the money. That is, they are selling their daughter. Why? Because number one, there was less woman. Number two, once you paid that money, that woman who, though you are marrying, becomes your property, and you make her work as you want. Okay. Now, just imagine you have got the background of this. Just imagine a Potachitra. Okay, showing this. That here is a child who is born in the home, and as they say in Bengali, সবার চোখের মণি, and she grows up and all that, and then suddenly you find that one day the father wants to sell it away, and it is shown like that. She is playing kit. In the village they draw it and all that. She is playing kit. She is going for swimming. She is there in the forest. She is plucking flower. Then one day it happens that the father gets some money from somewhere and wants to sell. Okay, this is the story. Then what will happen? In the background, there will be a song. Okay, for example, Baba tui biya dili takar lobe, Baba tui biya dili takar lobe. Just imagine. I only know one line. I don't know it. But without this line, how can that visual of that Potachitra come to life? Can you see that then? Then it becomes a silent film. Baba tui biya dili takar lobe. What a strong kind of a statement. Can you imagine? And the same thing I saw a few days back. Amir Khan was doing it, and I think there was Shona Mohapatra. She was singing the same kind of song. Same thing. And we are talking about it now. I'm talking about 50 years back. That this is the song that was sung with a Potachitra. Okay. So what I'm saying that These two are very, very important, the audio and the visual. But what we are doing, we are having fairs, we are having conventions, we are having seminars, and we are selling. There are some ladies singing over there, we are buying it and going home. Have you seen anybody recording these songs? I haven't seen. Because they are not like my father and mother to think like that. They are not my parent. They just take it, then they start haggling. Correct? This is an art here. That is a separate aspect. But all this comes into the arts leadership aspect. Okay? Now, why I'm saying is this, but in this age of technology, this can be solved very easily. How? The question is that that when nowadays we go to conference, we get a booklet. And in it, we'll always find a pen drive, a paper pen drive. Not made of, it is not made of plastic or anything. It is made of paper. This is produced in Singapore. And that pen drive has the logo and everything of that conference. And if you put it in your laptop, you just download it for once. You cannot take that out and up and down. You can do it 4 or 5 times, but not more than that. It will get spoiled and your laptop will also get spoiled. So these are inexpensive stuff. That is why in conferences, large conferences, it is just distributed in thousands and lakhs of this. So what happens then? Why can't we have those chips over here and record a song, and then when the Potochitro is being sold, you give it to them to explain that this is the song which goes with it. Please download it into your mobile phone or whatever. If you don't want to do that, when they are singing, please record so that you understand the whole thing of this. This is what I'm saying. Because in my home, I do that. When I have a very important person coming from abroad, and I show them that this is hanging, and immediately I play the song in the mobile, and that is interesting. I play it because then I tell them that this is going along with this. This is where art leadership comes in. You have the skill, and you need them to understand the trade, the skill and the trade. They are not meant to, the simple folk of the villages, they are not meant to understand this. And this is the work of art leadership, to understand this. I'm giving you another example. Potochitros are very long, 15 feet, 20 feet, 25 feet, and they tell a story, one after the other. I just hope that I had brought one, But anyway, I am sure that you understand this. Then what happens? Today, nobody buys that because you cannot hang it in your house. What is the average height of a modern flat? It is 10 feet. Okay? It is not like earlier days. You don't have a ceiling height of 20-25 feet. I have it in my Taltola home, my ancestral home in Taltola. It is 25 feet. You don't have it now. Now the average height is 10. So leave 1 feet from top, 1 feet from bottom. You're left with 8 feet. So can we have a 8 feet scroll? So that the panels are much more smaller, because the flat environment and the space is smaller, and you have this small 8 feet scroll where in 8 feet you tell a story. Then you'll see people buying it and hanging up in their home, and also with that idea that you have in your mobile the song, they will sing it. They will sing it, and it is possible. Because this partitioning which is done in the scroll is much larger, thinking that I am going to sit in the floor singing the song, and if I hold it with my hand, the size of the panel is from here to the floor, one panel, and then the other panel. Okay? Now what happens is that if it is 8 feet, I will do small ones. So I'll hold it on top and the bottom. Okay? Like you have the Buddhist scrolls, you hold it from top and the bottom, and then you turn this and you open this slowly. So you have small sections, small panels. Okay, so this is where the arts leadership comes in. Somebody has to think this and to get this to work. That is where it is the most important part. Okay, now many of the times you go to fair and other things, you find that it is the same visual. What Uttam Chitrakar is doing is the same as what Madhav Chitrakar is doing. There is no difference. Then where is the USP? You know, there was a lady, I think her name was Gauri Chitrakar. I have got her working at home. She is unique. But everybody is not Gauri Chitrakar. Let me tell you that. So what they are doing, they have seen another one selling. Okay, I'll make one like that. You know. But if they are different, there is a USP. I am forgetting another lady I saw a few days back. She does a story on fishes, and that is her USP. It is only stories only with fishes. For example, I will tell you the big fish eating the small fishes. I'm bad at singing, but I would have loved to. The big fish eating the small fishes, that they come into the river, and that the big fish is eating away, and this is the state of the society. Every time the big people, they gobble it away. This is a socio-economic problem which she highlights, and there is a song to it also. Now that is because of that. Even if you do not know the song, you see that there are so many kind of colored fishes and all that, you get attracted. That is a USP. She has somehow unknowingly she has come to that. But if there is an art leader knowing this, then it can all be brought together. It can be brought together. For example, as you know, because of the TV, because of serials, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata is understood not only in India, throughout the world today. It is, people read books. In fact, the place where I'm sitting, this is the office of Rupa Publication, one of the most, eminent publisher. And when I entered here, Raju, who is here, the managing director, he showed me some books which are on the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. So that he said that it is one of the genre which is doing very well. All kind of books are sold. Okay. Now, if there is an arts leader, they will tell this Photochitrakar that why don't you paint short stories from Ramayana and Mahabharata? Why I am saying the kind of stories that they do is the kind of story that they know well and which are close to their heart and which has come down from their ancestor, from the grandfather to the father and down to them. And they do not know how to deviate and go. They talk about Behula Lakhinder, story of Behula, who was bitten by a snake, and her wife, Lakhinder was bitten by a snake, and Behula takes a float made out of banana leaf and banana plantain, and she goes. This is the story. They talk about Monusha. Monusha is worshipped in Bengal as a goddess of serpents. They talk about Monusha Mongol. They talk about Behula Lakhinder. Okay? But these are stories specifically to Bengal. If there is an arts leadership person who will understand that we have to go to a much wider thing, then they will take parts of it from the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Which, let me tell you, that the Kalighat pot did. Kalighat pot became popular because it was taking on themes which people would understand. It was also, Kalighat had, depiction of, they had Monusha and others also, but they had Hanuman, for example, they had Ram, they had Sita, they had others, which also Ravi Verma did. It is oleography. Why was Ravi Verma's oleograph popular? Because they were taking popular things and doing it. In the same way, if we tell them, যে তুমি একটা কাজ করো, তুমি রামায়ণের এই গল্পটা জানো? না, আমি এটা জানি। তুমি রামায়ণ শুনেছো? হ্যাঁ, শুনেছি। কি গল্প জানো তুমি? আমি এই গল্পটা জানি। আচ্ছা, কোন পোর্শনটা জানো? আমি সীতার বিদায় জানি। সীতায় বনবাস দেওয়া হচ্ছে। বাবা, তুমি এইটা জানো? আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে, তুমি এটা নিয়েই করো। তুমি আর কোনো এটা জানো না যে যেখানে গিয়ে রাম সীতাকে চলে যাচ্ছে? হ্যাঁ জানি, শুনেছি। ওটাকে নিয়ে করো, ওটা বুঝতে পারবে। দশরথ বলছে রাম সীতাকে চলে যেতে, এবং ওরা বনে চলে যাচ্ছে। এটাকে নিয়ে তুমি একটা গান বাঁধো, এটাকে নিয়ে তুমি একটা করো, বিকজ দ্যাট ইজ আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং। You take, for example, the scene from the Gita, where Arjun and Krishna is talking, and and the chariot is stuck over there. It's a simple scene which is there in everywhere. Okay. So if you ask them and do this, then this will have a much wider market. Wider market without even moving away from their main theme, without moving away from the fact that you are actually a chitrakar telling stories, you are a storyteller. You're not moving out of that, you're still doing that, but you're bringing in stories which are much more understandable and universal, and maybe more Indian in nature, not provincial, not only limited to Bengal, and thereby it will have a much bigger market.